Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any out get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but haters is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, bread like a speeder. Taking it deeper and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he sent for me. I keep the blood of the lemons my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison and we got the remedy. There is a bomb, apply it. The fire can stand to the tallest of giants. The tyrant and all the suppliers are scheming and lying. They selling his dreams and we buying it. Show me the chicken, I'm frying it. Show me the dough and I'm prying it. Ain't never lacking it, so what I'm packing, he taking it, he magnifying it. They say you ain't bout it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers. I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. 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 Ayy. I got to drive, the bus, the truck, the gas is stuck. I ain't the one to rely on the luck. I put in work and then he show up. I know it's fake, this shit in the reps. Ain't no regrets, I do too much. It ain't me if you saying I stunt. He calling the place and I do what he want. This ain't a front, glory to G-O-D. It's what you could do with a mustard seed. It's what you could do when you start to believe. Take fear and you cast it inside of the sea. 100% out of me, cause he gave it all on the T when he let it bleed. So what is you saying to me? You just insecure about the love that turned me to a beast. I take a step and I ain't turning back. He made me first cause I know that I'm last. I ain't got time for no thing in the past. Learn from it first and then I react. Hands off me, don't hold me. Get it jumping like a trampoline. All truth ain't no trolling. We in good hands, no folding. They say you ain't bout it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the one, the only designated Spittaz, where we give it to you raw. That's how it happens over here.
Damn. Raw dog on a Monday night. Y'all already know,
Hey,
boy.
my God. Look, I'm a little more excited than I usually am today because, bro, April 20th, baby. The link is in the chat.
Yes,
it is
sir.
pinned. I am so... This dude Travis this dude Tyler said I like it raw. What the fuck is going on to start this show?
That's
Holy shit!
Flagrant foul just out the
Personal
gate.
foul.
My brother. My brother.
We hell of a start.
We don't even got to watch the replay on that one.
Bro,
That is
we
foul.
are, there ain't no replays at all on this shit. You could just see
man.
it right there. It's like, all right, hey, come on now, take it easy. Smacky the likey, hitty the subby. Francis Lee, how you feeling? You doing good?
Listen, man, I just opened it up, checking in the chat. What's up, Macho King? I feel great, man. A little bit of tiredness today, as it is the national holiday that is the day after the Super Bowl.
Oh, I feel like garbage.
Yeah, man. So you always kind of feel a little bit off. Eat a couple things you shouldn't have. I mean, we were talking about that pre-air. We're not gonna bring that to the air. That's a little too much behind the scenes.
No, yeah, people don't want to hear about my business today and how I felt. But yeah, I've been absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed today. And immediately out the gate, too, by the way, guys, we do have a super chat. Let me get to that. My guy Connor O'Neill says that Francis put the grannies to bed early. He might have. I think he did, actually. Yeah, I think he did.
They haven't woke up. They went to sleep so late last night after the Super Bowl because, they had a lot of faith. They had a lot of faith in Mr. Purdy. Let me tell you something about the grannies. They like them some Brock Purdy. I don't know what it is.
Some Brock.
Let me tell you something. Some Brock.
I know people are going to get mad. I know people aren't going to get mad about that. I'll just say it like this. He sure is Purdy, folks. I don't care what anybody says. He's here to stay.
There you go.
Brock's here to stay, man. He didn't do nothing wrong that game. He busted his ass. You could go and say a little mismanagement led to that. Fucking Moody missing the extra point was big because they would have won the game if that was locked in.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Look, man, it's like when I'm not comparing the Chiefs to the '98 Yankees. It's a different time. But when you're becoming a dynasty type club and you're there all the time, that experience is hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat because I remember when overtime happened and Niners got the field goal. Me and my son are there. I'm like, they're gonna score. So it's just like, please let it be a field goal. And as when Kelsey ran that up the middle, I was like, game's over. That's it. They lost. They ain't no way they're not scoring.
It was too much. I mean, there was a 3rd and 1 on that final drive where I had a good feeling. I was like, I know it's 3rd and 1, but Pacheco is probably a little bit gassed at this point. Like, he's probably going to look to pass the ball, and the secondary has been doing a great job today. And they snapped the ball, and initially it looked like San Fran had him. And then all of a sudden the seas just parted and Mahomes was off for like 15. And I was like, and I was like, okay, he's too close not to score now. It's just too close. So
that's it, man.
But it was a great game. You said it.
It was a great game.
We got a great game in the end, and it didn't seem like we were going to get one, but we did.
No doubt about it. And we got another super chat. Oh my God, Michelino. Raw dog because the grannies can't get pregnant.
I mean, I'm not trying to give away all the sauce. Okay.
Damn.
I can't confirm or deny that. All right. I don't even know. I mean, it's a Monday night. I just want to know where we out the gate with the, you see,
this is a hell of a way. This is only us though. It only happens to us. We're the only reason this shit happens.
I watch NYYST. I watch Bronx or Nothing. I watch the Farm Report. I watch All Rise. I mean, this never happens anywhere. No. But here, no, I gotta be honest. Here and every now and then, game season gets a little bit wild. Yeah. I don't know what happens.
It's like the freaks break out when we come on. It's unbelievable. It's like the freak shows come out. And it's all right, man, we about to get nasty in DS. But literally, let's get right into today's conversation. And again, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe if you have not. We do have a very, very good show for you guys today. First thing we want to start off with is, I think, a very fair question and a good question in reality, right? Is who poses the biggest threat to the New York Yankees in the AL? We're not even just talking right here about the division. We're talking about the overall American League. Who poses the biggest threat to the Yankees? Guys, throw it in the comments, in the chat. We'll read some of those off to let us know. And Francis, I'm gonna throw that one at you first. Who do you think poses the biggest threat to the Yanks in the American League?
Just the super chat threw me off. They're killing me.
You can read that one.
Ambioti says, thanks for the super chat, Ambioti. He's like, sup, I, Mario, and Francis, Mata Viejita. So we're basically granny killers. I mean, listen, God. We start the episode with one word and everything just goes off.
Unbelievable. I'm going to just take raw completely away. And nobody's ever going to say raw, and that's it. I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean?
No. So getting back, I think this question is super interesting to me, right? And I want to know, like, obviously, like, want to see where you go with it. But I just remember calling the playoffs last year and looking at, Texas, right? And not thinking, going into last year, I don't know what it was, but if I'm honest, I did kind of overlook Texas more than I should have. They ended up being the eventual World Series champions. So I think about Texas, and then I think about the fact that Houston has been the consistent thorn in our sides since you can go back to 2015. And then I think about in our own division, right? The Orioles won the division last year, and it feels like they keep, they're still coming. They just made a big trade to get Corbin Burns. I mean, this is a team that doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. Then you got Tampa Bay. They don't look that good on paper, but they're always somehow making it difficult for the Yankees. And then I'm just like, okay, like when I think about all of it, I'm like, but who is like the team that if I'm like, okay, you're the Yankees, like this is the team that like you got to hone in on because this is going to be the biggest threat. At the end of the day, this is going to be the team standing between you and at least get into that World Series. And if I had to pick one out of all those teams I just named, it shouldn't come as a shocker, but I'm still going to say it's Houston. I know Houston lost to Texas or whatever, but it was a 7-game series, bro, and they played them down to the wire. Yeah. I still think the road to the championship runs through Houston.
It's funny because this is going to come across as boring, of course, but I got to agree with you. I'm kind of like in a toss up between Baltimore and Houston because Yeah, we're going to see more of Baltimore, but we're talking about who gets in the Yankees' way to just stop them from going all the way.
Yeah.
And, Baltimore could very well be that team because one of the things that the Orioles are kind of molding into right now is the same type of method that the Astros used, which was basically saying build this great core and then add good starting pitching, add that big ace. And the Orioles did that. And people tend to forget here how good Baltimore could be. A lot of people go, they might regress, but they're adding a shit ton of talent to an already really good team. Yes, they lose their closer. Completely understand. Craig Kimbrell, I don't expect to have a good year in Camden Yards. Guy gives up homers a lot. I don't think that's a very, very strong mix for him. But they also got Cano still down there. They got a lot of these young guys still coming up that can really take the next step. Of course, a Holiday is likely going to be the starting shortstop. Yeah. We know that entire team. Again, is there another prospect for them that breaks out? Does Kerstead break out? Does Colton Cowser break out? There's a lot going on in Baltimore that fans should be excited about. No doubt about it. But I go right back to where it's been. Exactly. And that is the Houston Astros. Because look, let's not forget that the Houston Astros again went to the ALCS.
Exactly.
And they were right there to go back to the World Series. So this is not some team. They were almost there. It's not some team that we should just sit there and go, well, Texas won. And, they're kind of not that club no more in the West. I don't think it's wise to do that. I'm with you, Francis. I still go ahead and say the Houston Astros are the team to beat to get through them.
Yeah, I love the points. I love the points you just made about the Orioles, and just to put a button on that. I think you can't give enough credit to the Baltimore Orioles. I think we've done a good job as a channel, but you especially just on the different mediums that we have. You've said it a bunch of times, man. Baltimore is doing things the right way. They got some new owners. They made a big trade. Like, bro, we can't give them enough credit. And I think it's respect to them that in the division, for sure, they are the biggest threat to the Yankees. I don't think that's even a question.
Yeah. Easy.
But
easy.
When you look at the overall scope, I think the way that you put it was like, that's how it is, honestly. I mean, for the division, yes, like, is it true that we'll be battling with Baltimore probably all year long? I think so. I think we will. And I think it's a toss-up. Right for me right now, it's a toss-up who actually comes out on top in the division. But at the end of the day, whoever doesn't is going to be the second best team with probably the second best record or third best record in the AL and still have a pretty good shot to get through to the playoffs, through the playoffs and get to an ALCS. But when the Yankees have gotten there as of late, they keep running into the same team and not getting past them. So I think that's the thing. Is like, I don't know if it was that series, that the last series that we played against Houston last year where we dominated them. That has a lot of fans feeling good, about our chances. But I'm not ready to just start looking past Houston yet. You know what I mean?
No way.
They're still very formidable.
I'm there with you. We got a couple of super chats. Our guy Connor O'Neill says, what had the grannies going Purdy? Bosa or no shirt Usher? All I know is Usher's shirt off made me feel 100. Go Yankees, get seats to the Bronx. Aaron Boone is the biggest threat. I wouldn't deny that one too much, and we'll probably talk about some of that stuff getting closer to the season. By the way, guys, we are gonna have our preseason show, so kind of mark this on your calendar already. I think it's gonna be a huge show. The 27th of March, the day before opening day, we're having a Knights at the Round Table that day. So make sure you guys are plugged in and ready to go. It's going to be a hell of a show. I'm trying to see, Rod, I got a super chat from you. I think the chat might have moved where it is. I think I got it right here. Oh, there it is. Designated Spittaz is sponsored by Life Alert. With one press of a button, Francis Lee will pick your granny up, saving abuelas one day at a time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have the app. App right here on my phone. All right. And the
it
promo
immediately
code
dials.
is coming soon.
It just tells him quick. I think it even like a webcam pops up so he can make sure. He's like, let me see this one. Okay.
Exactly.
She's on the floor, hips
it
broke.
says me
right,
they have to upload pictures. So as soon as they hit the button, the picture comes in, and if I'm not feeling it, I just could ignore the call. I'm sorry. I mean, it is what it is.
I
guys.
really
Modern
just talked
technology.
about taking advantage of grandmothers here. This is fucked up, man. We have a fucked up show today.
It just went right off. I mean, from the moment we started, right off the rip.
From the jump, this show was just cursed.
Literally.
is exactly what it was, man.
Welcome
I'm
to
telling you,
DS,
but-
baby.
Yeah, welcome to Designated Spittaz,
Welcome,
folks. Thank you
baby.
for being
We-
here. Smacky that likey, hitty the subby. But
Yes, sir.
again, the next thing I wanna have us talk about today is something that's not gonna be too popular with a lot of people, but that is Trevor Bauer. Francis certainly wanted to talk about this a little bit, and I understand why. He's kind of went back and forth with some fans the other day. And some of the rumors that we thought that could be holding teams back, apparently, according to him, are not true. Like the idea that there's 3 open cases out there. He says, no, there's not. That is a lie. There is no open cases out there. All that is sorted. He's like, I'm just chilling here. And I want to bring this tweet up right here because this is him responding to Jonathan Papelbon, but I want to read what he thinks the problem is. He says, unfortunately, it's not about the money. He's already said that he will play for league minimum. From what I'm told, it's about job security. People don't want to suggest it to ownership for fear of losing their job if it doesn't work, or ownership doesn't want to do it because they think there'll be some negative articles written that will cause harm to their franchise's value. It would be a 3-day story max. But in order to prove that, I need an opportunity to play. And in order to get an opportunity to play, I need to prove it, which is why the situation is what it is right now. Francis, I'll get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I leaned in there. I wanted to read that too because I actually didn't get a chance to see that. That's super interesting. Honestly, I gotta put it out there that there's so much misinformation around the Trevor Bauer situation that it's hard to sift through it and get to the truth. And the reason that I was like adamant that I was like, yo, I want to bring it up again because I know you covered it. You covered it after he did the interview, right? You covered it right away. So that was,
and there's even more info out now than there was then.
Since then, yeah. So I was like, maybe let's bring it back up, just because I never really got to speak about it publicly, and like I see so much misinformation that I get frustrated, but at the same time, I understand where people are coming from because, like, when you Google and stuff like that, whatever, there's a lot of lies out there. Let's just call a spade a spade. Now, the first thing I want to say is, I think he eloquently explained like what his situation is right now.
Correct.
I don't think there's a better way to put it, right? He's in a situation where there's probably tons of teams interested in him, or people who are very high up in organizations who are willing to take said chance on him. But they do realize that making that call and saying, hey, look, let's just pick this guy up for league minimum. I mean, it's a really low risk, high reward possibility for us. I don't know why we're not going to do this. They realize that if they do make that call, their reputation and career in some cases could be tied to that, right?
Yeah.
Now, where I disagree with that is not with every team, but there are some teams that currently have some people employed whose reputations are a lot larger than that, right? And I know some people are going to be like, well, this is just you being a fan or whatever. No, I promise you this is not a biased thing. And to be honest with you, I don't know that I necessarily want Trevor Bauer on the Yankees, but I don't feel that is an excuse for the Yankees not to get him, right? And here's what I mean by that.
That's a great point.
Cashman's reputation is cemented. Like it's not that Cashman brings in Trevor Bauer, it doesn't work, it blows up or whatever, and Hal's gonna fire Cashman. Like, any Yankees fan who's out there saying that, you're just wrong. Like, I think maybe you're masking the real reason that you don't want Trevor Bauer in the building or whatever. But let's put that aside for a second and call a spade a spade. What Trevor's saying is true for the large majority of MLB teams, but not for the Yankees. The Yankees don't have somebody who's going to lose their job off of this signing. Okay,
I think Randy Levine comes out there, like, hey,
Levine,
I want bring this guy in. He says, what's going to happen to Randy Levine? Nothing.
It's not. That's just not how it is. And I'm sure for instance, AJ Preller, for instance, right? I'm not saying the Padres are going to do it, but think about the Padres situation right now, right?
Yeah.
The lack of pitching, the deal that they had to make. They had to let go of Juan Soto to get enough pitching just to even, be somewhat okay. And then they had to go and spend some money. But imagine where they are right now. If they brought in a Trevor Bauer, and Trevor Bauer was even remotely close to what he was when we last saw him in the MLB. Yeah. I mean, God, if there's a team that could use it, it's likely the Padres with the offense that they have, and the possibility that they go into this year and aren't able to pitch enough to do for that offense. I mean, they could use a guy like Trevor Bauer.
Yep.
Would you guys think that Preller's like career and his reputation is on the line if the Trevor Bauer thing doesn't work? I disagree with that. Now, for most of the other teams, he's 100% right. People don't want to, they don't have the balls to, put their balls on the table. Again, balls and whatever. This episode is how it is. They just don't got the balls to put it on the table and say, look, I think we need this guy, and whether it works or not, I think we should give him a shot. But that's my reaction to that tweet, for real. I mean, I think he put it really well. But mostly the biggest thing that I wanted to say, and the biggest point that I wanted to make is, look, a lot of people are speaking on Twitter and stuff like that, like they know for sure, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Trevor Bauer 1000% did the things that he was accused of. My issue with that is there are courts of law that couldn't find him guilty of that.
And by the way, too, there was the real one with Hill, I believe her last name is, who basically said that he choked her unconscious. She woke up, she had bruises all over her face, and he beat her up and all this. That one, he says 100. He goes, and again, this is, I don't know if it's public record or what it is, but apparently this was he was like, this is fully investigated. He goes, and they believe that she lied. They got confirmation that she lied about all this, and it never happened. He says, somebody actually asked him, and he was responding to fans, and the guy was like, you're a piece of shit, this and that. And he was like, well, that never happened. Yeah. So whatever you're accusing me of saying I choked this girl out, it didn't happen. Never happened.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem that we have, and it speaks to a bigger problem that we have in society. And
Correct.
I made this comment in our group chat because we were discussing it. And it's not like, and I get it. And I know this is probably why so many podcasters have shied away from the topic or whatever, because just the mere fact of you speaking about it and not condemning him, people want to put you in a box. And I'm cool. Like, if that's the box y'all want to put me in that box. Yep. To be honest with you, it's Francis Lee you're talking to. I love box. So put me in the box. Okay. It is what it,
sure it's a tight box.
As long as it's a tight box, you can put me in it. But I'm not afraid to say that there's a problem with society in general right now, that immediately people gravitate to whatever the story is. They run with the salacious accusation, the salacious headline, but then that's it. Nobody ever, like, I would hazard 85 to 90% of people never check the facts. Like, never go.
No doubt about it.
And no doubt about it. Let me figure out, like, if this is actually, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, I've seen it with so many cases. I can name a bunch, but I think with this one in specific, it's just so common. And that's why I wanted to bring this topic here, because bro, it's so common on Twitter that I find myself like re-Googling, pulling up case documents and stuff, because the way that with the conviction that people speak with makes me think that there's something wrong with me half the time. But it's like every time I go to the actual factual documentation, there's nothing there that says that I can go on Twitter and just call this guy a rapist or things like that. And I hate, didn't want to say that word because you never know with YouTube, but there's nothing out there that makes me feel like I can call this guy any of those things. Right. So why is it that on Twitter, like those terms are just thrown around? He's a scumbag. He's a whatever, just so loosely. Yeah. Just say you don't want him on the team. You don't even got to give your reason. You could just say
correct. You could just say, you know what? I'd rather not. I'd rather pass on him. He hasn't, he hasn't pitched in the league in multiple years. That's a very valid excuse. Guy. And that's fair. That's a fair point without getting into too much other stuff. But for me, when I look at the thing, you're right. You got guys now that are accused of certain things and things like that, and they could come out later and be like, nah, this is complete blasphemy. None of this ever happened. And he's still going to be called every name because people are going to go, no, I just, believe what she said or whatever. And that's it. No matter what the evidence was, you're going to be known for that because maybe I just don't like you. And I'm just going to utilize that against you overall. And it's upsetting in a way. And I don't think any of us are sitting here going, Trevor Bauer has never made no mistakes. He said he has. He said flat out, I've hung around the wrong people. I've done things wrong in my career. I'll even bring a couple of more of his tweets up that made a lot of sense. Here's one when he goes, no media market in the world has anything worse to throw at me than what has been thrown at me over the last 3 years. I don't think anyone should be concerned about my ability to handle a media market. Makes a lot of sense. Here's one when he talks about Rob Manfred. I spoke to Rob face to face. Apologize for the things I've said and how I've handled things in the past. We had a pleasant conversation. I'd be shocked if the exile was coming from the top. So he does not believe that Rob Manfred is one of the players behind the scenes kind of saying, don't bring this guy back to the league. He said flat out, we had a great conversation. I don't think that would be the case.
It's up to, I think it really is up to the teams at the end of the day. And I think the teams that probably could do it with very little risk to them just aren't interested, probably for the reasons that you outlined before. Like, there will be a media circus, even if it is, I mean, it's not going to just be 3 days. That depends on the market, right?
Yep.
That's another one of the points that he made in that tweet where I agree and disagree. Because, like, if he signed with the Mets or the Yankees, for that matter, it's not 3 days. Like, it's not 3 days in New York. The news cycle in New York is not 3 days long. Give A-Rod a call. Let him tell you how long some of those shits can cycle for.
Right.
It's not going to be 3 days. But if I don't know if it's the same in San Diego. I don't know if it's the same in San Francisco, for that matter. So it's like, it's true. But the teams that are in position to do it right now just don't seem to be interested. And it could be for many different reasons. There's another thing that there's another reason that it could be that I wanted to bring up here on air that I don't see a lot of people reporting on. And it's the fact that while him and Manfred have had good conversations behind the scenes, one thing that teams are also aware of is the fact that as currently constructed, right, the MLB reserves the right, the commissioner does, to suspend the player off of accusation.
Correct.
Meaning that he doesn't have to be convicted. He doesn't have to be, go into a trial actually for these things. If a team signs him and 2 weeks from now, some nutcase from, West Bubblefuck, wherever, decides to just accuse him of some shit just for shits and giggles, the league has to investigate. The league has to look into it. And if Manfred deems it necessary, he will suspend him. Every team knows that there is a possibility that some accusation can come out of the blue.
Yep.
And Manfred can suspend him and they can just lose him just that quickly. That's another thing that is probably in the back of a lot of teams' minds. Mm-hmm. But again, to me, that speaks to a bigger problem that has nothing to do with Bauer and everything to do with the way that the league is constructed. Should you be able to suspend players off of accusation? Like, that's a way bigger conversation to me, and something that they should have spent a lot more time negotiating in that CBA than they did just money. Like, shit like this is important too.
Of course. And the other thing is too, a lot of people go, well, look, the Yankees are hypocrites. The Yankees are hypocrites. Why the Yankees of all teams shouldn't be talking about we can't bring this guy in. I mean, at the end of the day, based off what evidence there is, and I'm talking real evidence, he has not been charged with a crime. In our country, that usually means you are deemed innocent. Whether you believe it or not, O.J. Simpson was deemed innocent. 98% of the country knows he probably did it, but he was deemed innocent. It is what it is. Like, it's hard to, you could be upset with the justice system, but innocent. There's been no proof to go, this guy is guilty as charged. He did these things. The Yankees had Domingo Germán, who slapped his wife at an MLB event.
It was
an MLB event.
His teammates were there.
It was, I think, a CC Sabathia event, I believe. It was something like that.
Yeah, it was a CC Sabathia thing. I think it was a birthday party.
That you had, Cordero this year. Of course, the stuff with Aroldis Chapman. So I'm not, and again, I don't want to be I'm not the poster boy here going, hey, bring Bauer here, bring him here. You haven't seen me having many videos like that out there. I've just talked about kind of the things he's talked about, and will he get a chance? But when it comes to the Yankees, I have not changed on this. I don't bring it up a lot because I just feel like it's a moot point. It's not going to happen. There's no chance. I don't think Trevor Bauer becomes a New York Yankee. I don't see that happening one bit. But we do have a couple of super chats here. Guy Fast Eddie says, sign Bauer now. Deal with any fallout later. Not the worst idea in the world, especially for the Yankees, who I think need another pitcher. John Scardino says, it's not innocent until proven guilty anymore. It's very sad. Thanks for everything you guys do. Big year for NYYU. Cheers. Appreciate you, my guy. Michelino says, Pete, I agree about the Yankees tax not being a real thing because even if the other teams ask for a top prospect, it's still up to cash to sell the other players. Just show he's losing his touch. And then L.I. Yankee King, I think I just missed it, says, the reason I don't want Bauer is Warren Hampton. That honestly makes no sense at all. Does not affect Warren or Hampton at all. Again, I just go back to saying, L.I., you got a very, very low baseball IQ. Kyle Millet says, I would take a flyer on Bauer. He would be the number 3 in our rotation. I believe, unless we get Snell, and he would then be a 4 or 5. So, Francis, any thoughts on all of that?
He wouldn't. I mean, to get Bauer and Snell would be absolutely nuts. Oh, there goes Crackle Nuts. We're gonna get into that actually, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, the LI thing is funny. I don't think those guys would factor into
Has nothing to do with
Cashman
Bauer.
decision on whether or not they go for Bauer. And again, I want to make it clear. I mean, just like Pete said, neither one of us are like overtly on here lobbying for the Yankees
Not
to
at all.
sign
No.
Bauer. Like when we want the Yankees to sign somebody, I think you got the 2 guys who probably make it the most explicitly obvious that we want a player. Like,
oh yeah,
we're not doing that. I think the conversation that was had is basically like, what is the procedure? What is the protocol for a situation like what we're seeing with Trevor Bauer? And is that protocol correct? Because if it came out in 2 months or 3 months that he ends up in front of a judge somewhere and all this new evidence comes out and he is convicted because beyond a reasonable doubt he did whatever it was, I mean, you talk about 2 of the first guys who would be on here saying, yeah, the dudes are this or that or whatever. I mean, we got daughters, you know what I mean? Like, we're not.
Yeah, 100%.
But again, what we're talking about is what one of the super chats brought up, which I love, because that's the point right there. It's no longer innocent until proven guilty. Now we live in a world where as long as the headline is good enough and we don't like you all that much to begin with, you are guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. And unfortunately, those just aren't the morals. Those just aren't the values that this country was founded on. And if you disagree with me, you can Google the Constitution.
I was about to say, take it up with the founding fathers that have something to tell you. Crackle Nut says, do you think they're not giving up Spencer Jones because they may not pay Soto and he will replace his spot? I want Soto to stay. Best show in the business. Crackle Nuts, I'm not mad at you on that. I'm not, doing that face towards you on that. But that take that I've heard a lot, it's not just you, Crackle Nuts. I think you're kind of saying what a lot of other people have been saying. It's one of the worst takes in the business, man. It's such a bad take to sit there and go, we will not sign one of the elite players ever. Maybe that's our game plan. If the Yankees' game plan is we can replace Soto with Spencer Jones, a complete unknown with potential, let me tell you something. The Yankees have no shot of winning for years and years to come. You could wrap it up, ball it up, and throw it away.
We are cooked.
If that's their mindset, that he's insurance. Like, people are saying this every day. I know it's not you, Crackle Nuts. People are saying this every day. They're saying it. They're openly going, it's all right if he goes. We got Spencer Jones. Who the fuck is he?
They don't even know. That's the craziest part.
They don't know. They got no clue.
They don't know who the fuck. They could walk right past them in Times Square tomorrow and they wouldn't even fucking know it.
Their assumption is, oh, well, he's the lefty Aaron Judge. He's going to pop 56 in his first year.
Because that's what they're telling everybody. That's what they're telling everybody.
And we did plan on talking about Spencer Jones, so great segue into that.
No, Crackle Nuts, phenomenal. I mean, he's practically part of the show today. We give you an EP credit just for this episode.
Yep, exactly.
Oh man.
But Francis, that's like, and again, I want to just say this again. There is nothing wrong with Spencer Jones. I don't want people to be like, Pete, you hated this guy. No, I don't. Nothing. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit expectations that are being placed on these kids. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the Martian is Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle. Volpe's Derek Jeter. This guy is Aaron Judge. I'm just tired of these lazy ass comparisons. That's why I like Dane. I like Los, because they'll sit there and tell you, Dane has said this for a long time. Stop the Judge comparison. It's stupid. They're actually very different players. People see the height and go, oh, he's a big guy that has a bit of power. Oh, he's the lefty Aaron Judge. How lazy do you got to be to make that connection?
And you know where they're coming from with it. I mean, you just said it before we got on. They were, pushing that on yes.
100%. Jack Curry said the same thing.
Right? Let me tell you what their job is, okay? Because people, and I'm not here to shit on the guys over there on that desk, because they work for the same team that we cover, and I love that team, right?
Yep.
Let me tell you the difference between Pete, myself, everybody on NYU, and them. They have a script. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a script and it exists. And it is a script that is thought about in think tanks. And what they think about is, what are we going to push today? How are we going to market this? Trust me, you are not calling Spencer Jones the lefty Aaron Judge because you think he's the lefty Aaron Judge.
Correct.
You are calling him that because the Yankees want you to think of him
It's
that way.
the YPM, the Yankees propaganda machine.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yep.
So Curry is saying that, but if you got Curry, you know what I mean, and courted him somewhere, I'm not saying for any of you fans to do that because I know some of y'all wild like that. And it is the Bronx. They go corner Jack Curry, be like, tell me the truth, Jack. I want to know. No, don't do that. But I bet you if you got him in a moment of truth, just you, him at the bar having a couple drinks, you say, Jack, tell me the truth. I mean, really, lefty Aaron Judge? For real, for real? I mean, you saw Judgy in that first season, 2017. Tell me the truth. I don't think even he agrees with that shit. But you know why? I don't think it's a knock on Jones. I just think he, like everyone else, hasn't seen enough of Spencer Jones to make that comparison. Okay? Me and Pete were talking about it before we went live here. Not only does it put an immense pressure on the player coming up, but you diminish one of the players that's a great. I mean, when you did it with Jeter, at least Jeter was retired and long ago. Aaron Judge is still the man on this team. Like, you know the position that it puts him in? You calling this guy the lefty me, and I'm still here. I just signed a 9-year deal the other day, and you calling this guy the lefty me? What if he fucking sucks? Like, God forbid, because he seems to be a part of the plans.
And he help us, yeah, of course. He's gonna help us if he's really good, if he's what people believe he could be. Of course, we want that.
But like, think about it, like, Pete. You here, right? You here,
yeah,
Pete. And we bring on somebody to the team. He's a young guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not hasn't been doing content, whatever. He's young. Maybe teens, early 20s, like really early 20s type shit. And he does a couple videos. People say, "Oh man, he's the next Pete. He's the next Pete." Why? Like, that's just not good. Pete is still doing the content, okay? And this kid probably wants to be his own person. If he's worth half a damn, he's going to want to be his own person. He's not going to want to be the next Pete. He's going to want to be him. Shouldn't Spencer Jones just want to be Spencer Jones? Didn't we just have this conversation with Volpe? Shouldn't Anthony Volpe just want to be Volpe? Like, why do we got to do this? I mean, we're the Yankees. Why are we so bad at marketing? It doesn't make sense.
Man.
We used to be good. We used to be good at marketing.
We were, and it is really sad because it's then my job to come on here and sound and look like the bad guy, like I was.
Like
with
you don't
Volpe.
like the player,
and
like
that's not the case.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is temper expectations to be fair to the damn player. I'll just tell you guys the truth. I had to temper expectations with Volpe's own dad. I'll just say it. I'll just put it out there, flat out. And you know what he eventually said to me? You're right. I'm going to dial it back of what I'm doing on Twitter, going at fans and saying, oh, my son's great. He says, look, I'm not putting anything out there, but it's the facts. He even sat there and said, you are correct. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, let me ask you this. We talked about this a lot. Let's say, for an example, Jones comes up, 25 homer guy. He hits 265, steals 40 bags. There's fans out there that go, but, I mean, he didn't live up to his expectation. And I'll be sitting here going, this is a hell of a fucking player. It's a pretty damn good player.
It's
great
good.
Defense. That's a hell of a player. You'll have fans going, I mean, but he didn't live to his what expectation? The ones that you guys put on him?
And that's the thing. Is like now that they're touting him this way, if the guy, let's be realistic. There's some fans who are going to be complete nutballs out there and expect 56, 52 or 53 in the first season.
Judge production.
Exactly. I'm going to just I'm going to leave them alone because like I don't feel like doing charity work today. But let's talk about the regular fan who just going off of the Yankees projections is going to expect, well, at least he should hit like 30, 35. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't get to 35, if he gets just to 30 or 28 or 29, is walking around saying, well, they lied to us because, I mean, look, guys, 28, 29 home runs for a rookie, 25 home runs for a rookie.
It's phenomenal. That's one of the what is one of the bright sides of Volpe's here? He had pop.
Yeah, like
so whether you like the average and this and that, he had pop. And my thing is, you know, it's just Aaron Judge always had 800 plus OPSs in the minor leagues. I don't think I'm wrong on this. I think Spencer Jones' OPS was in the sevens. But see, that's my point. It gets people to go look into these things for
Which
no
is what they should
fucking reason.
But
And there's no reason to do it.
they should look.
It's good to prove it. Like
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly.
I know exactly where you're going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to prove it. Like, that comp really isn't fair. It doesn't really make
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's not many Aaron Judges in the major leagues.
Thank you.
Let alone guys coming up in the minor leagues. And I just simply tell fans, I'm not saying the guy is bad. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. I'm just saying temper your expectations. There's a few top 100 prospect lists out there. Don't even include him because there's holes in his swing and they're concerned about him in many ways. That's not a bad thing. They're just saying they feel that he's going to have to show something a little more than what an expectation is. It's like talking about Pacoda. Do you expect the Yankees to win a division? Well, it's a projection. I don't fucking know. Last year they didn't. They had him at 99 wins last year. They won 82. How did that work?
And
You
you
want to
gotta
buy
be-
into it or no?
You got to be crazy because it's funny how crazy it is because the Pacoda, the ranking itself. If you go in to read the numbers, I'm not going to do all that because it's going to bore the shit out of the chat or whatever. But basically, the numbers that they give, they're hoping to be within 15 games of the actual record at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So they said they got the Yankees at what, like 94, 95. So they're
Winning the
hoping
division, yeah.
that they win at least, right? Anywhere between 80 and 115
So
games.
imagine that's your projection. Imagine doing that with a prospect.
Exactly.
Imagine go, you know what? If he gets into about 35 points of a batting average, that's where he 35 all around.
Exactly.
He could be an 810 OPS guy. Well, he could be a 780. Pretty good, but a big difference.
Listen.
He can hit 30
100
homers. Maybe he hits
Yeah.
15. Pretty good. But I think we're on point.
Pete, think about it. There's a huge difference between batting 210 and 240. In today's
Big
game,
time. In
that's a
today's game,
huge
exactly.
difference. That
Damn
is a
right.
huge difference.
Major difference in production, potentially.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
But we got a
it's not
few
fair.
minutes. I know we do got to wrap up a little early today, but I got a couple of super chats I want to get. Then I want to talk about Carlos Rodon. That's a big one. We got to talk about
Yes, sir.
this.
Yes, sir.
Justin says the reason is that Soto may not take the deal with the Yanks. That's why they hold on to Jones. Not my thought, but an idea to think why they won't trade him. It still just doesn't add up to me that would even be a thought on your mind being the New York Yankees. It's ridiculous, and you shouldn't be planning for years down the line. You should be planning for 2024, and that's it. Kyle says Velveteen Dream was innocent and he lost his job. Am I supposed to know who that is?
I also do not know who that is. I'm sorry,
Okay, well,
Kyle.
I'm not the only one.
Maybe you could give us some more info on that.
All right, my guy Fast Eddie says, I like Hampton and Warren, but neither of them have a Cy Young award. They never had the opportunity. They're not up here yet. And look, they're not Trevor Bauer. If somebody were to go to me today and goes, you get one of those two guys or Bauer to pitch this year, who do you want? I'm saying Bauer. Anybody who doesn't say Bauer, I'm sorry. I think you're out of your friggin' mind. You got to go with the sure thing that's proved it at this level. Christian says, I'm 19 and I'm balding. Am I cooked? You are fucked. I'm just
Christian,
joking, bro. Nah,
Christian, don't.
Right,
I mean,
fam.
listen,
Come on,
baby.
right,
What you need to do, Christian, what you need to do, and I mean like probably ASAP, no Rocky, is go to the NYYU merch tab at the NYYU at the NYY Underground website and just get yourself a couple of these hats. You know what I'm saying? This one, you got the one that Pete got. Currently, currently we don't got the Crescepelo on the site, but we in talks. We in some talks.
Because I'll be honest, I was thinning. I used that shit. That shit's a boom. It just blew, at a bam, just blew out. But guys,
like Ember Lagasse, bam.
That's it, bam. My brother Mario Gomez in the chat. Mario, they called me you early. I know you saw the video. I had to, I was looking around for you, but we found him. Mario's all right. Guys, we got to talk about this one right here, man. Carlos Rodon.
Yes, sir.
Is already out. He spoke to the media. There's the man right there. He's about 20-pound difference is what a lot of people believe. About 20 pounds different. And Rodon had some really good comments in here. Let me tell you guys something. For all those people that had the balls to say this is Carl Pavano, you guys deserve to give this man an apology. I don't has nothing to do with what his record was. Has nothing to do with waiting. If it is, this is not Carl Pavano. I want to say why. In this interview, the guy basically comes flat out and goes, "Look, man, I know what being a Yankee's all about. I know what taking that ball means. I'm not going to be a guy to put my tail between my legs and hide. There's things I made mistakes on, but I'm also I'm also basically, quote, I'm also a man. If somebody comes out to the mound and goes, look, you got to do better. He's like, fuck it. You don't think I fucking know that? And that's basically what he was saying with the Blake situation. When Blake came out and was like, bro, you got to do better. He's like, you think I'm new to the league? Like, I'm not even going to answer. This is insane. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta turn my back to this dude because either that or I'm going to punch him. And he says they got a great relationship. I love how he said, he was like, Matthew's a great guy.
Matthew.
And he's like, Matthew's a great guy.
Matthew.
But he also says he thinks the mustache was bad juju. I'm happy that Jira is actually teaching a class right now because she said that every time Mustache Poppy came out, it was bad. It was bad luck. He said, look, there's no mustache this year. It's gone. It was bad juju. He don't like it. He's going back to Rodon of the White Sox days. And he looks like a young man. If you guys see his son, they're completely twins. He's just a mini version of him. It's hilarious how life is. It's unreal, but they're a direct, exact clone of each other. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's got a photo.
Big year coming.
Yeah, no, hey, bro, listen, that article. Pete sent it to me. Actually, I missed it, but it's a great article. I think it gives us a lot to look forward to. I think the most important thing was the accountability for me. I think really when I talk about guys like Carlos Rodon and your Giancarlo Stantons or your LeMahieu's or even the stuff with Donaldson and stuff like that, my biggest issue is always the lack of accountability. When I don't feel like players are being straight up with me or whatever. That's one thing I'll give to Stanton, and everybody gives it to Stanton or whatever. But at some point, that's got to give. Is that Stanton does always take accountability. Stanton stands in front of the media. He takes the hits. He listens to people bring up his numbers and how bad he's been and how it looks like he never hit a slider in his life. And he just sits there and he's like, yeah, it's true. I got to get better. I look terrible right now. Got to try something new. But with Rodon last year, the way it ended, I know it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And just seeing this article, even the way it was framed, like, this dude's pulling up 9:30 in the morning to get a workout in. And I mean, the pitchers and catchers don't report until Wednesday. He's been there since a couple days after New Year. Like,
January. I think it was like January 6th or 7th or 8th or something like that. Literally, he was already there.
It was the 7th. Literally, it's like the New Year. We hadn't even made a week into the New Year. Carlos Rodon was in Florida working out, and I mean, it shows. He looks phenomenal. He looks good. I mean, he looks a lot leaner, and I mean, you've mentioned that. I've heard some of the other guys mention it too. That when you look at the success that he seemed to have, with the Giants and stuff like that, he did look a lot leaner. So compared to what he looked like when he came, in last season, if just the eye test is going to tell us, if the eye test is something we're going off of, he looks a lot more like he did in San Francisco right now.
No doubt.
So I don't know. I'm excited too, and I'll jump right on the bandwagon there with you, bro. I think a big year is coming in from Rodon.
I don't have, I don't have any other thing I could say there. I believe he's going to have a big year. I've been a big believer in Carlos Rodon. I will continue to be that, but I told everybody, if he's bad again, I'll definitely, talk it down that this could be a bad signing. But as of right now, I toss away last year. I don't completely discredit it. I toss it away. I think there was a lot of issues. He seems to have made those adjustments, and now let's see who the man really is. Got a couple of super chats, guys, then we're going to wrap this one up. We got Crackle Nut says, Soto was a bona fide Hall of Fame player. Jones is a great AA player. He's not even that, to be fair. He hasn't had a great year in AA yet. Which one do you want to play for? Jones can be a great player, but Soto was a top guy. Correct. Kyle says, Velveteen Dream was a WWE star. Okay. Bernard says, I wish every Yankees cared as deeply about succeeding as Rodon. Love the guy, and he's going to kick ass this year. Bernard, I appreciate that comment, man. It's refreshing to hear somebody else say that and talk about Carlos Rodon that way because, look, this guy's not a fail. People want to talk about this guy like he's a loser, like he just accepted the money and he doesn't want to pitch. That's bullshit.
No.
It's bullshit.
This is not a Rendon situation.
No, not
at
all.
It's not a
Pavano.
No,
if you say this is Pavano, you didn't see Pavano's time.
I gotta be honest with you. They're just repeating shit that sounds funny on Twitter. They don't know. If you lived through Pavano, you wouldn't say that shit.
Yep.
You're looking at two guys who lived through that shit.
Replay up. My guy says, my wife and I are excited to meet you all at Yankee Stadium, April 20th.
Nice.
Just booked our ticket. Let's go. By the way, Fast Eddie and his wife booked his ticket too. So I hope Felice and Simon don't run into each other because she was like, who was that son of a bitch who called talking about Brett Gardner? You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
could
man.
be crazy over there. France,
Audi
I got
Club.
one for you though, real quick.
Those were the days.
I had to play that for. Hold on, here's another one.
I don't like that kind of talk.
It's my baby Livia. Listen, the Audi Club. Listen, man, it's all love in the Audi Club now. Don't come down
Oh, it's
with
amazing,
with
man.
no static. It's
No,
all
we
love
don't-
in the club.
Yeah, we
Only
don't play
love
that
in the
mess over
club.
there, man. It's love, guys. Again, you guys have heard me repeat. You hear me repeat it until April 20th comes here. But guys, it is all love there. It's an amazing time. It is I'm not even like. I can't even, the people in the chat who have been there, you know what I'm talking about. It is so different. It is a family gathering, it feels like. It really does. You guys get to meet each other in a chat. You guys get to know each other. You get to hang out with the team. Everybody on the team is going to be there, by the way. Johnny got his ticket today immediately. Dude's flying back and forth from California multiple times just to make sure he's there for this. He already got his. We're extremely excited to get going for you guys. And again, if you can make it, logistics, trust me, I don't want to hear logistics, and the reason why, we got cats coming from California, from Australia, from mad different places. Mike Perez, yes, there's tickets left. There's probably, I think we have already like 7 or 8 sold already. So we're probably down to about 35 remaining. So yes, if you can get your ticket, get your ticket. Do not miss it. The link is right there. Francis, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, man. Guys, I'm looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible on 420.
Yeah.
If you observe, light it, don't fight it. Keep it away from me. I don't,
me
you know
too.
what I mean? I'm not
I'm not a
anymore.
smoker, okay?
It's not
I'm
my
not a
thing
smoker,
anymore. I vape, but I don't do that. But I will say,
Okay.
if you partake, do your thing, but come. I want to see all of y'all on 420. I can't wait to be in the Audi Club. Like I said, only love in the club on 420. Get your tickets. Don't play no
Gonna
games.
be
Only-
love in this club.
Exactly.
In this club.
There ain't gonna be very many tickets for much longer, guys. I mean, it
Nah,
is
not
what it
at all.
is. Because there ain't
Not
no
at
party
all.
like an NYYU party. I already know. So
Facts.
keep it locked and stay tuned because the Super Bowl is over and baseball season is upon us. So that means that the designated spitters of NYYU are going to be here week in and week out to provide you with the best in coverage of the greatest team in all of baseball. So the next episode will in fact be the best episode.
And you guys know we will never come whack on a designated Spittaz track.
That's a
Until
fact.
next time, baby, we out. Peace. See you guys later.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, look, top floor lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up.